right, Shinyribs podcast, episode 9, number 9. My guest, Terrell Ramos, my good friend and the illustrator of Who Built the Moon, a children's book that just came out. You can get this book at our website. Thanks to all the Kickstarter supporters who helped us put together our effort to self-release this book. So Katie was in town for a few weeks in December, and we had a chance to hang out for a couple hours one night. Had a blast, just drinking Richard's rainwater and laughing, telling stories. It was great. Enjoy. So, welcome to the Shiny Shed.
Shiny Shed. Love it.
Yeah, so you've seen this online, you know.
Right.
Did you ever imagine, did you ever
I
have
didn't
any
realize
idea?
it was a shed.
Yeah.
It's so much cooler in person.
That's cool.
Yeah. So much more space than I thought.
It's pretty big. Yeah. It's pretty big. I like I said, the people that owned it before, they had kilns in here, and they did stained glass work.
It'd be a great art studio. I mean, now it is. It's just different.
It is, yeah. It's an art studio, basically.
Yeah. Do you have neighbors close by? Do they hear you practicing in here?
They do. They're super cool about it. But I mean, I don't make much noise in here by myself.
Right. You're really not that close.
No, that's why I was going to... You can't really see it at night, but during the day, there's a big floodplain out here. It's a big...
Oh, okay.
So out here we have... there's a bunch of caves out here.
Cool.
Everywhere out here is caves. And,
right.
Because there's aquifer underneath us. The Edwards Aquifer.
Yep. Gotcha.
So they had... So in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a big movement here called Save Our Springs, which is about Barton Springs. And they wanted to limit development in the Greenbelt area out here. So, but I was going to this floodplain. It was part of the ordinance. You have to have these areas,
spaces.
Spaces, so the rain can filter through to the aquifer.
Cool.
So it's really great. It's like
makes for a good backyard.
Oh yeah, it's a big giant field out there, and all the animals come through there, and I do have to mow it occasionally. So do you ever mow where you live?
No, that's not my job. No. Nope.
Not my job.
Not my job.
Not my job.
I do the farming.
Oh yeah, right. You're a farmer.
I am.
Lavender farmer.
Yeah, I do the lavender.
Uh-huh.
My mother-in-law does the mowing. So we keep our separate jobs.
Does she ever actually mow your lavender?
Oh my God, no. She'd be in big trouble. No, it's pretty obvious where she should not mow.
Yeah.
That would be an epic fail.
Well, tell me about lavender farming, because I'm fascinated by that. I just think it's cool.
It's fun. It's a lot of work, but...
I would imagine it's a lot of work. Any farming is a lot of work.
Yes. Yeah, where we live... We don't have a lot of water, speaking of water.
Right.
And so we decided we wanted to do a drought-tolerant plant, and lavender's drought-tolerant. So we started growing lavender. It loves it there, so we're adding more on.
That's awesome. How much do you have?
We have 800 plants right now.
Really?
With plans to expand quite a bit.
And you grow those from seed?
No, I do starters.
You have starters,
Yeah,
okay.
Our growing season is not long enough to...
Do you have like a greenhouse or something where you start those? Or?
No, I order them.
You order them and they come in like...
Yeah, little 1-inch plugs.
Oh, wow.
And then within the first season, they get about this big. And then they go dormant. They're perennials.
Oh, they're perennials?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hardy perennials, if you do it right.
So what do you do with them? I mean, do you sell them?
I harvest the flowers.
Oh, the flowers.
And I make products, and then I sell them. I specialize in culinary. So I sell to restaurants, bars, coffee shops, and they make products too.
Really?
Yeah.
See, what you make products at, like, what do you make?
Like lavender honey and hydrosol and tea.
What's hydrosol?
Hydrosol, so when you distill lavender, so you put it through a big still, kind of like you would with gin or with I don't think whiskey's the same. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But a big copper still, you take it through, and you get two things. You get oil, essential oil, which is like the little itty bitty bottles that people use all the time that they're obsessed with.
Yeah.
So that's the essential oil. But then you also get hydrosol, which is distilled lavender water. And it still has the medicinal properties. So you can use it on like your dogs, your cats, because it's not as strong as the oil. But it's good like as a pillow spray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kali, one of our singers, one of the Shiny Soul Sisters, Kali, Broadway, she had stuff like that. It always smelled so good. She sprayed it on me once. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get some of that. Now, every time I go into one of the stores and I look at the products, I just don't know. I'm always confused what to get. And I end up not getting anything. Right. And then I feel a little self-conscious because I'm like, this burly guy looking at
lavender.
So I'm like,
hey, what do I do with this? Yeah, I'll send you some. You'll have some. That's how you get started.
That's right, exactly.
Yep.
But I do love that. I love it more now than I ever did. I mean, I never even was aware of such a thing, honestly, most of my life. And I'm into this Palo Santo stuff. I just am obsessed with it.
Yeah, I love it.
I tried burning it. I had candles going. I got turned on to it going to mezcal bars,
Oh, yeah.
There's one here in town called the Rabbit.
And they burn Palo Santo?
Yeah, you go in. There's like no lights on in the place. It's just candles everywhere, and they have the Palo Santo. Just like I've got one right here. This is what it is. It's like sometimes I burn this on my live stream. People think it's a joint, but
it's not a joint.
And they have these candles, and they lay it across the top of the candle.
Oh,
and
my gosh!
It doesn't ever burn. It just sort of like you can smell it everywhere.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah, let's see if I can get this lit. But
I'm gonna try that.
My other candle finally died on me.
Oh yeah.
It's a great way to do it. I've never seen it done that way.
No,
but
I've never seen that either. I always just burn mine.
Yeah, I just light mine, and I do that too. But I had it going for a while. Robin was doing. This is I'll take this off. I didn't do that wrong. This is a crazy new light. Have you ever seen?
I've never seen something like that. It looks like a bug killer.
It is like a bug killer, but it's a lighter. There's no butane or anything.
Whoa!
It's good for the planet.
It's like a bug killer. It's like a buzzer.
It is, yeah.
But it'll light a candle?
It's a lighter.
I like that.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
Look at that.
There you go.
The miracle of bug killers.
We're so eco-friendly here.
So we'll just put that between this and we'll see if it...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Set the vibe.
You want to try?
Yeah, I need to try this. I just pushed the button.
Oh! Isn't that wild?
Oh, my gosh. It looks like a taser.
It does.
It looks like
a bug taser.
That would probably hurt.
Yeah, maybe. I do get some bugs in here sometimes in the summer.
There you go.
That might be the thing to do.
Multi-use.
So how long? So you started. You've always been a farmer, or you just became a farmer?
No, I was a music teacher. Yeah, I was a music teacher, and then all of a sudden, my father-in-law. I don't know how we got on the topic, but I was like, I love lavender. I was like, why don't you grow it? I've never grown anything in my life. I grew up in Denver.
Yeah.
Didn't have a garden. And he was like, do it. You can do it.
That's cool,
It was so cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Well, he's also the reason that we met. Do you know that whole story? I don't know.
I think you've told me, but tell me, yeah.
He dared me to message you. That's how it all started. He dared me. He was like, I dare you to message Shinyribs and ask him to sing your song from your first book.
Wow.
And I did. And I was like, I don't think he'll answer. I have no idea.
Right.
And then he sent me a recording.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always inspiring me.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Clay.
Clay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Clay.
Yeah, thanks, Clay.
Thank you, Clay. Is he a risk taker in life normally, or would you call it that?
Probably not. Well, he's pretty gutsy.
Is he
does
gutsy?
Big things. Yeah, he's building a house right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's built a lot, but he's going for it.
No kidding.
He just turned 70, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, we learned so much from Clay.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I know. Thanks, Clay.
Here's to Clay.
Here's to Clay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so he just told me, he was like, why don't you learn how to do it? Whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I answered you, and I answer most of my fans. I mean, just about anybody, because I'm very it's so easy. Like, it's social media. It's like, I'm on it every day anyway.
Right.
So, and, why not just be available? I mean, I don't answer everybody, because sometimes I get some creeps,
Right.
I mean, we all do.
Yeah.
Then nothing gets creeps, it's fine if you're a creep, but I just don't want to talk to you.
He's just not going to answer.
Yeah, maybe it creeps y'all could all just go somewhere, like an island somewhere, and just be creepy with each other.
Mm-hmm. I think that's good. So, give him a space.
But most people I'm just available to. Well, this would be a good segue here.
Here's a segue.
It's a good segue. So there's this couple in Houston. Mike and Leslie are their names. They've been Leslie. So during COVID, I was doing these weird little outdoor private parties for people.
Oh, cool.
It was maybe not the smartest thing to do, but we were making some money, and it was bringing music to people who wanted desperately to hear live music.
Right.
So it was kind of a win-win. And theirs was one of the best in Houston. Great little house, and we played on the porch. Their porch was their porch was just perfect. And I had all my own lights. And it was just me and Trey. It was just me and Choppy.
Oh, okay.
Me and Choppy Waters.
Okay.
It was it. Just me and him. And so we had our own lights. I had my own little PA, and it was all self-contained. And it was just the coolest looking porch because all the lights were perfect, and it was from the street. Everybody's outside in the front yard, neighbors walking by and stopping, and it was cool. So I did this great party for them. And then it was maybe a year later or something. I don't remember when it was, but Leslie messaged me, and she said they had an anniversary coming out. I think it was like their 30th anniversary or something. And she's like, could you write a song for me and Mike? I want to give it to him as an anniversary gift.
Right.
I was like, okay, sure.
That's a big ask.
It's a big ask. It is. And I'm like, and I think I was hesitant, and I voiced that to her as well. I was like, well, and it was kind of last minute. I think it was like their anniversary. I think she just thought of it, and maybe their anniversary was coming up.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's like next week.
I didn't make any promises. I was like, I said, well, give me some biography about your life. And so she told me about their life, how they started in New Orleans, and where they lived, and they left. They gradually moved further out of the city, and eventually then Katrina happened, and they went to Houston, like a lot of New Orleans people. They were Katrina evacuees who went to Houston. It really influenced Houston, and I think in a really good way, having all those New Orleans people show up.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just stayed, and they just stayed, right? So New Orleans has changed a lot. Houston's changed a lot because of Katrina. So I was I just thought all the stuff she gave me was good stuff. Like it was like real visual, and the words were real musical, and I had a tune that I had been working on, just a melody and a chord progression that I was into at the moment, and I was like, well, I could just use these words and make it all fit together. And I did. And it's a beautiful little song. At the time I didn't think much of it. But then I just listened to it recently, and I was like, dang, this is a really good song.
Aww.
And so I edited it, I took some of the super personal stuff, like about their kids and their pets, and made it a little more universal, lyrically, that other people could relate to. But it still has all the New Orleans stuff in it, because it's just, I think it's a story about people leaving New Orleans, and moving to Houston, and I just think it'll hit home for a lot of people. So so it's called What Happens Next. It's sort of a question, a musical question, and this is it. That makes 31 at the St. Rose of Lehman, out on Bayou Road. That's where our story begins, so sweetly to unfold through the tough times, the crazy times. Where does the time go? Tell me, where does the Mississippi River flow after it reaches the Gulf of Mexico? We should have stayed at our first house on Laverne Street in Algiers. That was the coolest place. Shotgun beams and piers, but we moved on to Mandeville and into Metairie. When Katrina chased us, she couldn't catch you and me. Do you still wanna go with me over mountains to the sea, where we can feel the music flowing under our feet? I still wanna go with you. You wanna go with me? What happens next? What happens next? It's gonna be magic. What happens next? What happens next was meant to be. Tell me, where does the Mississippi River flow after it reaches the Gulf of Mexico? Do you still wanna go with me over mountains to the sea, where we can feel the music flowing under our feet? I still wanna go with you. You wanna go with me? What happens next? What happens next? It's gonna be magic. What happens next? What happens next? Was meant to be. What happens next? What happens next? It's gonna be magic. What happens next? What happens next? Was meant to be. It's just me and you and me. It's just me, you, me, you. I still wanna go with you. All right. You got Mr. Ribs in the Shinyribs hour. Relax. Chill. To the next ribisode. This is Richard's rainwater we're drinking. It's
We're enjoying some rainwater.
very tasty. This is the flat water. They do bubble water too. The
Oh,
bubbles.
okay, that's what the still means.
This is still water, yeah.
Cheers,
Here's
salute.
to you, yeah. So yeah, this water falls from the sky, and they filter it, and they
can.
turn it into rainwater. A lot of people don't like canned water, but I hate plastic,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to get away from plastic.
it's true.
And so I talked to
It's good.
Richard, and he sent his guy over with a big pallet of Richard's rainwater, and we took it on the bus, and we mostly, I mean, I drank it, but like you still end up with plastic water everywhere you go, you know.
Right.
And it's,
yeah, people probably give them to you, and then they're just there. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is really good water, though.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
How fun!
I love it.
It makes it feel like a, I don't know, cooler experience. Than
I think it is. Some of the band didn't like water from cans because I don't know. It's just I think they're used to drinking out of bottles.
Right.
And beer is in cans, so I think they expect it to be a beer.
Exactly.
And if there's no bubbles in it, they feel cheated in some way.
Yep.
But
no,
I love it. I mean, I drink. I'll say this: I drink way too much soda. And diet soda is the thing. But this has kind of got me off the soda train because it's nice and cold.
Exactly. Yep.
Like plastic never gets this cold.
No, it doesn't.
Cans get cold.
It's like a weird experience to drink from a flimsy plastic. This is cool.
Is. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Richard.
The Shinyribs podcast brought to you by Richard's Rainwater. So what did you think of the song?
I love it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that riff's my favorite.
Yeah. I played that on the little keyboard over there.
Aww, I feel like it'll be perfect for anyone's anniversary.
Yeah, I think it kind of hits the mark for most people. Just the sentiment of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have to be from New Orleans.
No.
Yeah.
It's for anyone.
Yeah. But like the church, I don't remember that. What was the St. Rose of Lima?
Okay.
On Bayou Road. I mean that kind of stuff.
Like all the details.
All the details. That's what really like pulled me in. And talking about Algiers and Metairie and Mandeville.
It's cool that she gave you all of that. It's almost like poetry for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean all those names about all around New Orleans. Those names I just they're poetry to me. You know. That's a demo I did, and I think that's kind of maybe the song I'm gonna build my next record around that because I just love it so much.
So when you build a record, do you normally do it off of one song?
No.
How does it work for you? Like
it's different every time. It's different every time. This last record, Transit Damage, I sent a bunch of songs to the producer Steve Berlin.
Okay.
And he picked from that group of songs. And I just, but the next record, I feel like this song, I just love it so much, and I feel like stylistically, this is kind of where I want to go next. Mm-hmm. I've been high energy, and I'm still do all that, the shows. I'm an entertainer, but the next record, I just want to be kind of chill.
A vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yep. Go with the vibe. That's cool.
I gotta get this. So we haven't really even talked about the book yet.
Yeah, that thing.
I mean, I love this thing so much.
A little bandana.
Bandana. It was funny today. I had it hanging on the door over here, and the guys were like, "So do you have a book? The book here?" I was like, "Yeah, it's in the house. I'll get it." But I said, "You can look at this bandana and see yourselves."
Yeah, everybody's in there.
Everybody's in there, yeah. They were all looking for themselves. It was really cute. I wanted to get video of it, but...
Well, I need to see everyone because I have all their stamps.
Oh, right.
So, everybody gets their stamps.
Oh, you're going to give them their stamps?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, everybody's going to get their astronaut stamp.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
That is a really great gift.
Yeah. Well, and they're going to get a book, of course. They're in them.
Yeah, I know. I told them they would get a book. I figured we would give them a book.
Yep. Yeah, this turned out pretty cool. I like this.
First one's always free.
First one. Uh-huh. No, Keith ordered a book, and I messaged him, and I was like, dude, I'm going to gift you a book.
I'm going to give you a book.
I'm like, calm down.
That is such a Keith thing
right there. I just want to support it.
Yeah.
That's the cutest thing.
Oh, yeah, he's into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to have everybody see. So they haven't seen it yet. Did they go inside and see it?
No. I don't like to let them in my house.
That's a different space. Okay. All right.
No, they were leaving, and it was just, They'll see it.
They'll see it. It'll be all over.
Yeah, I just want it. They'll see it eventually, and when they all have it in their hands.
Yep.
That'll be cool. I got to get one to Winfield too. He's leaving town soon. Winfield's moving to Asheville, I heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is cool. It's a great town. You ever been to Asheville?
Nope. I don't think so. No. When I auditioned for college, I ended up going to a whole bunch of places. And so sometimes people will bring up a town and I'm like, I think maybe I auditioned there, but it was a long time ago.
You auditioned for
teaching? My
Oh.
first degree was musical theater.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Different life.
That is different life. Musical theater, man.
Yeah.
So what musicals have you done?
So many.
Did you ever do Oklahoma?
You know, I never did that one.
Huh.
No.
Yeah.
I was never in school or in a production of that.
Guys and Dolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I love musicals. I just don't know that many musicals. What I love about, is just the level of songwriting in that world is incredible.
Yeah.
I think I would be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be good at that kind of songwriting, but
Yep.
but I would have to go to New York probably, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think many musicals get made anywhere else.
I'm not in the biz anymore. I have no clue. I'm doing art now and farming.
That's right.
It's changed a little bit.
Art farmer.
I'm an art farmer.
She's an art farmer.
That's it.
Kicking back with the art farmer. Katie Terrell Ramos.
Yep.
So the book, that was your Clay, challenged
Clay.
you, and then
We did.
Igabadiff
Yeah.
was the
With
book.
Igabadiff,
I
yep.
remember that well. And I just did like a little shout out for it on a rib
kicked
fry.
butt with the song. We were like,
Oh, that's
That's
right.
it.
That was the song.
it was the song.
That was the
You
song.
sang the song. Yeah, you sang it. It was perfect. And we were all, I was
How does
running
it go
around.
again?
There was a yak from musical land and Igabadiff was his name.
Right.
Oh, but you made it so cute. You like did a little swing to it. I was like, okay, you just schooled me in that song. It was great. So that's what I use when I show students now. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
really?
the way the song should be.
Oh, that's killer. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Hello. My name is Shinyribs. I've come here to sing you a song, my favorite song I've just heard. It's a short song, it won't be long. I learned it from a book by my friend Katie Terrell Ramos. It's a book called Igabadiff, the Musical Yak. Man, that's really where it's at. What do you know about that? Oh, gotta fix my hat before I sing about a yak. A yak from a musical land. And Igabadiff was his name. Oh, how do you spell that? Well, it's E-G-B-D-F. That's right, E-G-B-D-F. Igabadiff was his name. There once was a yak from a musical land. Igabadiff was his name. Oh, E-G-B-D-F. 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 And Igabadiff was his name. Oh, there once was a yak from a musical land. Igabadiff was his name. Oh, E-G-B-D-F. 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 And Igabadiff, what? Igabadiff? Yes. Igabadiff? Huh? Igabadiff, yes. Igabadiff was his name. Oh. Keep on yakking, people. Woo!
And then I illustrated you into Face the Musical Flamingo.
Yeah, that was really when I was like, oh, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah. Then that's the first time I was like, Katie could do Who Built the Moon.
Yeah.
That's when the thought came to when you did that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it all started right there. I was like, this is perfect. It was just like,
getting rid of things.
sometimes things just happen in the right place, the right time. Like, you don't even have to think about it. It just happens. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, it's great.
I love that.
Things
and I feel
fall
like
into
this
place.
book is kind of like that. Like
It is
that's,
like that.
That was, that was my point before I went off on a tangent. But
with your cannabis.
Is that you just open yourself to the world and to other people, and just things happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Connecting with people. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like that for most of my life. When I was younger, I wasn't like that at all. I was very closed off and kind of rigid. And
really?
Yeah, I was. It was
I
weird.
can't imagine that.
I was a shy person, for most of my young life.
But have you always been a musician?
I think I have. I mean, I started playing when I was 14, but I was just in my room and I didn't share that. I was afraid to do it around other people. Okay. Even my family. Me and Alice were talking about that last night. Yes, I saw Alice last night.
Uh-huh.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yes.
So all is well. Alice said to say hello to everyone. She's doing well, and everything's going to be just fine. So me and Alice were talking about that.
Yeah,
how when we were growing up, her family all played music. Like her dad was a musician. I
didn't know this.
Yeah, and her mom, like she's steeped in jazz. I mean, really, she had a musical upbringing, but she was intimidated, I think, as a child because everybody did it. And,
right. Yeah, you got to keep up.
Yeah, you got to keep up, and you don't feel like it's that's what they do.
It's
their
not thing.
Yeah, it's their thing. And I had a little bit of that because my dad was musical. He's the one that showed me how to. Got me started playing guitar, but he was always a singer, at church and everything, and he sang around the house, and that was part of his identity as he was a singer, and so I wanted to do that, but I was a little intimidated or insecure about my ability because I didn't know how. So for years I just sat in my room and I wrote songs, and it wasn't until my junior year in high school, I had this speech class. And this speech teacher hated me because I did nothing. I was really just...
You were procrastinating.
I was a procrastinator, and I did not give a shit about any school. I was a terrible student. I just did... School was not made for me. I was a terrible student. I was just a rebel against it. And I still am. I love to learn. I just don't like institutional.
Yeah, people telling you how to learn.
Yeah, it just doesn't work for me because I'm just anyway. So his name was Mr. Bogan, and he just thought I was useless, and but we had like the final was like some you had to give a presentation, anything. It was a wide open, any kind of presentation you wanted. I procrastinated, of course. And here it was the night before, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I realized I could just sing a song,
Whoa.
But I was terrified.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I practiced. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this song. And I know this song, and I can do it. And I'm be nervous as hell.
Right.
And I was nervous as hell, but it came my turn, and other people did their presentations, and it came my turn, and got up, and people were just like, they're fucking mouths were on the wall. And Mr. Bogan was like, he did not know what to think. He was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, where have you been?
Yeah, what is this? I mean, it was amazing. And I was like, people loved it. And I felt so good about myself. Aww. And so I entered the talent contest that year. And it was great. And so from that point on, I was like, I can do this.
So did Mr. Bogan kind of get you after that? Did he understand?
I think he did. Yeah, after that, he really was nice to me. He liked me, and he respected me.
Right.
And understood that this kid has talent. I mean, he's still, probably pretty useless, but he has talent.
Oh, great. That's nice of the teacher.
Yeah.
That's super rad. I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
So you didn't really perform until, what were you, 14?
I was 17
You were
when I performed.
17 when you finally performed, and it was in speech
17.
class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 16. I mean, I was my junior year, so I think it was 16, maybe 17.
So how many songs had you written before you finally did that?
I mean, I wrote hundreds of songs. I wrote songs all the time because that's all I did. Yeah.
Right.
I just sit in my room and write songs. Yeah, I had a huge notebook. I still have this notebook I had a typewriter. and typed them out.
Okay.
Yeah. And kept, I had cassettes with all of them on it. Whoa. And I don't know if I have those cassettes still. I think they might have got destroyed in a flood we had, but...
But you have the notebook.
I have the notebook still.
Are any of those the songs that you've...
Oh, no.
Those are all gone.
Long gone, yeah. Because I still write lots of songs, and
right.
I just always trying to get... They weren't really necessarily good songs, but it wasn't long after that I started my first band. I was still 17, and I met this... My dad made me get a job. I didn't want to get a job. But my dad was like, well, you have to get a job.
It's time.
It's time to get a job.
Time to go.
So I went and got a job at a pizza place called Johnny's Pizza in Shreveport, Louisiana. And that's where I met this guy, David Green, who's my brother forever.
Okay.
And he was working there. And I was doing a lot of air guitar. He's like, you play? I was like, yeah. He's like, I play drums. I was like, cool. He's like, you should come over and jam. So I went over and jammed, and that's how my first band started,
And this is still in high school?
Yeah, I was still in high school. Yeah, but I had a neck beard. I could already grow a neck beard. I couldn't really grow much up here, but all around here, I was like kind of Amish looking.
Yeah. Okay.
But I could, and the drinking age then was 18 still in Louisiana.
Oh,
so I was 17, so I could easily pass for 18. I was playing in bars before I was 18.
Cool.
With Dave and the Picket line Coyote guys. Yeah, that's kind of how it started. It's funny to think about. I'm thinking a lot about, reflecting a lot back on my life now.
You have quite the story.
I do have a story. I didn't used to think I had a story, but I do have a story. Everybody has a story.
Everybody does, yeah.
But I never thought my story was very interesting. But I think it is. I think it is now. I think I've always been so going forward and trying to achieve.
Right.
That I did, and I'm not.
Yeah, you've been moving. There's
You've
so much
been
momentum.
moving, yeah. So I didn't even really want to think about my story.
Right.
And I didn't think it was like, so what? This is my, so what? But now I'm at an age where I'm like, yeah, it's been quite a life.
You've done some pretty badass things.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I'm just now sort of looking at it. And, like I said, I want to write about it.
Right.
My Substack is where I'm putting a lot of that. Yes, I do have a Substack, ladies and gentlemen.
He's doing all the things.
I'm doing all the things.
Keeping up with the cool kids. It's happening.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
Okay. This is, we're going to kick it old school. Going back to the Picket line Coyote Dave's. Days, not Dave's, but it's Dave Green. It's David Green telling stories about one of my first gigs and his first gigs that we did in Shreveport at a place called the Killer Poodle, formerly the Rusty Nail. David Teagle and family had a hand in this joint, and they just, let's just say I was a really naive boy. I didn't know what was going on there, except I had a weekly gig, I think, on Tuesday, playing at the Killer Poodle. And that's where I went after my high school graduation from Captain Shreve High School, as they were playing the Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston as we were leaving in our caps and gowns from, I don't know, maybe it was Hirsch Coliseum. I can't remember where we did the graduation for Captain Shreve. But yeah, that's where I went, to the Killer Poodle. And had some great times there. Anyway, here's one of my oldest compadres, my true soul brother, Mr. David Green, talking about the Killer Poodle days.
The Killer Poodle. Now, this is a time, we'd really, I guess, would be considered our first real paying, professional, if you will, gig. And the Killer Poodle was owned and operated and run by David Teagle. And that's where we kind of learned, and we learned a lot. We learned about, promoting ourselves, and that was really simple by just making flyers and putting them up all over town. We got a weekly gig, so we had, we had to rehearse to get ready for that, and sometimes most of the time there'd hardly be anybody there, so it'd be a good opportunity to work up new songs. We learned how to do sound for ourselves. We experimented with different, adding like a percussionist, good old Steve Perro, would sit in and play congas and percussion with us. And we also experimented with this idea of having like a gimmick to get people to come in. So I was working at this piano store in Shreveport, and periodically when people would call us to deliver a brand new piano, they might have an old piano that was just completely, just not repairable, and they're replacing, so they would trade out the old piano. And most of those that were just beyond repair would wind up in the landfill, so they would send me out in a truck with another guy, and we just kind of shove these pianos off in the landfill. One day we're out there, and I hear these glass breaking, and I look out, and the truck next to us says Magnolia Liquor Company on the side of it. And they're throwing out all kinds of liquor, mainly wine, and it's just busting like it's prohibition, And I go over to these guys. It's about 3 or 4 guys, and I was like, "Dude, what's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, we're just this this wine is expired." And in my mind, I'm thinking, wine doesn't expire, Doesn't it get better with time? So I convinced them to get me like 4 or 5 cases of these gallon jugs of like, I don't know, Ernest and Julio Gallo. It's whatever cheap wine, So I'm all hustling, putting these cases of wine in the back of the piano truck. And I get home that night, and I had this brilliant idea. Kevin's there, probably the whole band's there. But I say, "Hey, look, I got this wine that they just threw out at the landfill. I got a great idea. We'll do a dance contest, at our gig, and whoever wins gets a gallon of this wine." And I think it was Billy Hagan says, "You're going to give him a jug of bunk wine?" And I was like, "Dude, wine doesn't go bad. It gets better with time." So everybody agreed. And so that was our plan. So we started having these dance contests, And I don't know how we got away with it legally or whatever. And hopefully nobody got poisoned. But I wound up drinking most of that wine, really. And this was our shtick for, a couple, 3 Mondays, I don't know, until we realized it really wasn't working. And I was drinking most of the wine, so, what are you supposed to do? But we had some really cool, fun gigs. There were bands like that we'd open up for, like Blood on the Saddle was one band. There's another band called, name escapes me. But anyway, regardless, there were these little touring bands coming through, and on a Monday night in Shreveport, Louisiana, and having Dave Teagle with his open mind, he would book these really cool acts. And that was kind of our another learning moment, because these bands would come through, and I would talk to them and try to find out, hey, how do you tour? What's the deal? And these bands would share contact information with me of clubs that they had played at, most of them on the East Coast. So I started writing. I had a little phone book, and I'd write down like an address book. And I'd write down these club, the people, the contacts, and the address, and the name of the club, and all that. And the guys were like, "Yeah, man, you just need to send them a demo tape and a press kit." Back to that old thing, So that kind of helped us get at least some names and addresses and contacts. But then we're stuck with, where do we get this press kit? How is that going to work? And Kevin had this idea. He said, we'd been seeing this guy around town because he stuck out like a sore thumb. He looked like this. He was like from New York or something. He had these black, big, kind of artist Danny Warhol looking glasses and kind of a curly topped hair, black hair, and he didn't fit in. He was definitely different. And Kevin told me the guy's name because he had seen him articles that he'd written in the local newspaper, kind of the local arts newspaper called Upstate. He said, this dude's called Robert Trudeau, and that's who we need to get our demo tape to or something. So we first of all had to figure out how to get a decent sounding demo, and this is kind of what leads us up into recording that first record, Fashion Dogs, because we had to have some kind of something to get ourselves moving forward. And that happened. We got the record made, and we gave our first copy really to Robert Trudeau. And he did a review and did an interview with us. And at that time, he took a picture of us. And at that time, we hadn't really fully gotten Robert into the band. So it was just the three of us, Joey, Kevin, and myself. And we stood out front of this packing sack right down the street from my house. We stood in front of a cricket box, where you sell crickets for fishing. And that was like our photo and our press kit all in one. We had the press and we had the photo, and it worked out. And that's the end of that story.
I'm about to kill a poodle. Takes me back, y'all. Takes me back. What a long, strange trip it's been. So what's next for you?
I want to do more books for musicians. You've inspired my career.
That's cool.
Yeah. I want this to kind of be my path. I mean, of course, lavender farming.
Of course, lavender farming, yeah.
My goal is to have 3,000 plants, I believe.
3,000?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so how do you plant them? Do you have a machine or tractor?
I do them all by hand.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I have a tractor that helps me till.
Uh-huh.
So I till the field, and then I create rows, and then I hand plant them.
Wow.
So,
That's
but they're
hard on the
perennials.
back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
I get really, not buff, but I get strong in the summer.
Yeah,
and then in the winter, I do carving, so I don't move much. So it's a good balance.
Yeah.
Fit for half the year. It's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll keep doing that. And then I want to do another song into a book. That's the goal, is to kind of keep doing that for musicians.
That's a cool idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because I love music. My dad is a drummer,
Mm-hmm.
and so I grew up with music. He was in a band, and my mom was a teacher, and so she was an elementary school teacher. So children's books were super important in our house. Like, we had so many bookshelves.
Really?
Yeah, that was like her thing. And so I never really realized it was meant to be until I was doing it. And then I was like, oh wait, I grew up with children's books, and my dad's a musician. So kind of like
I love
put
it
it together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You don't think about it, and then suddenly you're like, holy shit, this has been there all along.
It's been there the whole time. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
this was gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe I didn't have any say in it. I don't know. It just was going to happen no matter what.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard a story about Rodin, sculptor Rodin.
Okay.
And that,
yep.
And this is, I might be getting this story a little bit wrong, but it was from a book by James Hillman about lives and how people start out and how the life was there all along. They're like an acorn, and it's already all there.
Yeah, like the tree.
And it
it's
grows.
already.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the stories he told, as an example of Rodin, was his mother had back problems, and he was always massaging his mother's back, and always, and like he's a little boy, and you think about the way his sculptures are, these round things, he was always doing that. I love that story.
I'm already like working with his hands, and that just became
he was,
that.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
It's all connected, yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, you could say that led him to that, but you could also see it the other way. Like,
exactly.
It's
a good
It was just gonna be that way.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, I love that story. So the carving and all that. Well, how did you figure that out? Did you?
Yeah, so I was living in San Antonio.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep. My husband, we were engaged at the time, and he got a job right out of college in San Antonio. I got a job in Aurora, Colorado. So we did a year apart, which sucked.
Yeah, that
Long
sucks.
distance
sucks.
Yeah. And I finished the first year. I had my dream job. I got to open a music school, or an elementary school, and I was the music teacher. Loved it.
Yeah.
But then it was like he wasn't going to move. So I decided to go down there. I took an art class at the Southwest School of Art.
Oh, yeah.
By chance, just to fill my time up.
Wow.
And my art teacher pulled out a rubber stamp like 2 weeks into the class, and I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Like, you carved it?
Yeah.
And she kind of showed me how to do it, and I didn't pay attention to anything else, which I probably should have learned the screen printing at least.
Right.
Probably should have paid attention, but I just carved rubber after that, and that's kind of...
Wow.
I've carved
that's so cool.
so many stamps, yeah.
Amazing.
I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I love your style. That's what I love.
Thank you.
That's why I thought you'd be great at it, because I just love the look of it. When you did, what do you call it? You carved. When you carved me.
Yeah. When I carved.
When you carved me, I was like, wow, that looks cool.
Yeah.
It just looks cool, and
it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always loved that kind of printing like that. That wood carving prints. I've always loved that style of things.
Yep.
I've never done it, but I always like that.
We'll sit
style.
down.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, I get a little carving
I think
lesson.
you'd love it.
I think I would.
It's so easy. The rubber is a lot easier than wood. Wood, I mean, you see people that like gash their hands, because they're carving and it's a really hard material. And linoleum doesn't last very long. So I do the rubber, and then I go into schools and I take all of my stamps from my previous books, and the kids get to stamp with them.
Oh man!
Because they last forever.
Yeah.
So, and then the band will get all of their stamps. So,
yeah. So
it's
awesome.
something that
I use, my stamp you sent me, I use on my set list. I have a little ink pad, and
it's so
I
cool.
personalize my set list like that.
I love that.
Yeah. So I don't know if the band will do that or not, but
I know, I was looking at ink pads, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool. Everybody could get their own ink pad.
Yeah. I thought it might be cool if I had a stamp for each one. I could personalize each person's set list, but that might be a little much.
That's hard. How do you carry all those?
Yeah, it's not practical, but it was a fun thought.
Yeah. Have a little set.
Have a little mason. I can have a little mason stamp.
Yup.
This is mason stamp. Key.
Well, they all have their own stamps, so I guess you could if you wanted to.
I wonder if they're going to use their stamps.
Well, that's what wouldn't that be cool if that's how they sign?
Yeah. Yeah, they should just carry it with them. And just, whenever somebody asks them to autograph something, stamp it and then
I think it'd make their lives a little bit easier.
I think it would. But you do have to walk around with an ink pad and a stamp.
It's true. Yeah. Put it in a little plastic bag so it doesn't get too messy.
Yeah, it does. It does get messy.
It's a little dorky, but it's okay.
No, it's fine. I keep mine. I have a printer, and I have it in my printer is where I keep it.
Oh, cool.
And so I print the set list, and I have my stamps.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I have it all in there. It's all self-contained.
Yes. Keep it nice and clean.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you did another musician, you could really just whoever owns a song. I mean, if there was a song you really loved, you could find out who has the rights to that song. You could probably just buy the rights to make a book out of that.
Right.
You wouldn't have to go through an artist.
That's true. I think the relationship thing, like being able to work with you and like learn about, I don't know, adding the bat in there and having all the different song references and kind of adding your story into the book.
Yeah.
Is what I'm interested in.
Right. Yeah.
But my goal, to tell you like my dream, because the song has been big for me since I was a little kid, is Willie Nelson's On the Road Again.
Oh, yeah.
Which I have no idea how that hasn't become a book.
Yeah.
It totally needs to be a children's book.
Totally should be a children's book.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to Willie, but...
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think he'd be interested in a children's book.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool because it, like, for you, it's been amazing to see kids interact with your music. And they love it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't know how they're seeing your music unless mom and dad are playing it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how kids are finding music.
Right.
They need to have good music.
Yeah. You're right. It's the way music is heard now. It's really strange. Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, Willie Nelson would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I see, you'd want a relationship with the artist would be the ideal.
Gosh, it makes it so much more fun. And the whole goal for me was to give you something you're really proud of, you know? And something that feels like part of your legacy. And that's what's so rewarding about it. I think working on a song by myself wouldn't feel as rewarding.
Yeah. Well, you've certainly done that, Katie. And I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh. It's been fun.
It's going to be great.
Yep. Yeah, that's the goal. Make something you love, you know?
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Well, that's it for the podcast. I think
Yes.
this episode 9.
Woohoo! I'm calling a song today.
I know that. All right. Thanks to Katie Terrell Ramos, illustrator of Who Built the Moon, the children's book. And thanks again to David Green for his killer poodle story. All right, people. We will see you on the other side, episode 10. Bye.